So either we go by stronger units,
But fewer.
or the weaker
But
and
more.
And well, as the player right now, I would say more units. All those in favor? 2 against 1.
Misplay.
No,
You're gonna lose us this damn thing.
no. Welcome to another World War Wednesday, and today I'm joined by not one, but 2 people. We have, since we're going from Spain, Drickus.
Hi, I'm Drickus, also known as Bratton on the forums, and I'm the content designer who created the Spanish focus tree.
But since... Yeah, exactly. The both of them, bastard, making us test all of it.
It's all my fault.
But since we're gonna play Anarchist, we can't make all the decision. It has to be a group of people.
We're in a tie every time. We
exactly.
need a tiebreaker.
So we brought in someone else.
Hello, I'm known around the office as Jojo, Enfield_PDX on the forum. I'm just a QA not assigned specifically to Hoy, but I am the Executive Associate Anarchist Consultant. And I
like that.
did my best to make sure that Drickus got everything authentic, if nothing else, on the Anarchist focus tree.
Half of the ideas in there are his. So.
Let's take a quick look at just the Spanish tree in general.
This is the first time on stream that we're actually looking at it, right? Ooh, and zoomable focus tree functionality.
It might actually be.
I think so.
Ah,
I think you've perhaps looked at a small segment of it before, but we've never actually looked at it in its entire glory.
yeah,
Look at that chonky boy.
exactly. So the thing with Spain is everything really depends on the first focus you pick. Either you pick a Great Spain or the Popular Front, and here's where we kind of call in. We really have 2 focus trees for Spain because it's kind of crazy. Usually most nations have 3 paths, maybe 4 if we have updated them with like a monarchist, non-aligned, Republican one. So of course you decided on giving 6.
I think there's actually 7.
Okay, yeah, it
Technically.
kind of is. So first let's quickly go through different paths. So if you would pick nationalist or neutral...
It's Carlists. They were part of the nationalists. So you either have the Phalange, or you have the Carlists, or you have the Francoists.
Yeah.
So you've got 3 nationalist paths, focusing on the fascist and neutrality ideologies.
Yeah.
So if you zoom out a little bit, you will see them at the bottom there in 3 distinct paths or branches. Yeah.
So we begin with the first focus then, and you would go down these. This is basically the lead up to the Civil War.
Yes.
Where you do both these focuses and some decisions, which we're going to come to quite soon when we begin playing.
You'll see all about that.
And then you make the major choice of which path to go through, and all of them have all the lovely stuff, you know, like industry, manpower, war goals, left, right, and center. And pretty much if you want to go with allies, communists, fascists, you can go pretty much every path.
Yes.
It's kind of insane.
Yeah, you even in a certain if the stars align, then you can even get France for free as the Carlists. But that is, you have to be really lucky that France took the right focuses to be able to do that.
And you kind of almost need a friend to be able to do it. But
yes.
Yeah, just very quickly, Phalanx Ascendant, where you have the
this is the Phalange Española. So this is all based on their 27 points.
27 points.
Yeah, their manifesto. So it's basically go imperial and take Spain and make it the leader of the Hispanic world.
And of course, then in the middle, we have the historical path, unified the National Front with Franco.
That's Franco, so they're in the middle because they take a little bit from the Carlists, they take a little bit from the Phalangists, and he basically merges them. He fuses the parties, as it says in that focus there, takes a little bit from both, and he is a little bit more neutral. You can go either with the Axis, with the Allies, focuses a lot on economic rebuilding, etc., etc.
Bringing a new meaning to despicable neutrals.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is your point.
So
you're just gonna come here with those comments.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So in historical mode, you will see them go down that route, and most of the time they win. I think like 9 out of 10 times, or even more.
Yeah, it's
historically,
crazy right now.
And they will not join any factions. They will not join the war. They will stay like they did before the patch or
exactly.
for the DLC.
And then we have the third and last path for the fascist-ish.
Yes. Well, these are the Carlists. So
Yeah,
these are
so
the monarchists,
the real
very
neutrals.
religious. You get the Requetes. You establish a new monarchy. You decide which Carlos heir to put on the throne. And there's a little bit of empire building, a little bit. And
Claim the French throne.
Yes, exactly.
But this is not the path we're going to take today. None
No.
of those are. We are going to take the furthermost left path right here.
Yes.
So it would just be fitting if we begin at the far right here with the left.
Yeah.
Rhythm.
This. So this is these are the democratic, or this is the democratic branch. So this is if you try to stay with the democratic government, the republic. It's a difficult path. If you want a little bit of help, you can then beseech the Soviet Union for extra help. But if you do so, you might lose out on your freedom, shall we say. So, and then you have
that's a very nice way of putting it.
Yeah.
Hey, Soviet, could you just send some troops, send some this, send some that? Like, you are puppet.
Yes, you are puppet of Moscow now. And if you, then you have a choice of either you become completely communist and you follow them along, or you challenge their authority and you have to have another war of independence later on. Yeah.
It's like if you really like civil wars, that's a good path to go through.
Yeah, but hey, if you manage to finish the civil war without expanding Soviet aid, note you will get volunteers from the Soviet Union even if you don't expand their aid, so you won't be without help. But if you want more help, then there's a price to pay. If you manage to do it without their help, that's great, and then you're free to go afterwards.
That's considered like the historical path.
That is considered the historical path. It didn't work out very well historically.
And then we have the anti-fascist workers' revolution.
So these are the
I love this
communist
picture,
branches.
by the way.
Oh,
it's
yes.
like the workers between the smashed eagle. It's
Oh,
just,
yes.
It's really,
Good
really
on.
nice.
Good on.
So these are two paths. One of them is Stalinist. So this is you follow Moscow's orders, and it sort of ties in with the same branch that you go down if you go down the Second Republic path. You also get Soviet aid and so on, and etc., etc. All of the good stuff, build up after the Civil War and war goals, etc. However, there's also an additional path, which is the independent communist path, because there were two communist or main communist branches that were fighting in the Civil War, and the other one was very against interference from Stalin. So if you go down that path, you will end up actually fighting them. So this will cause a 4- or 3-way civil war.
Just all of the civil wars.
Yes, it's the same branch that it's the same. You're fighting the same faction, or fighting as the same faction as we will fight as actually, because they were. It was the anarchists and the independent communists that rose up in the Civil War historically together.
Yeah. They kind of saw that, hey, the democratic government and the Soviets kind of got along well, because the Soviet volunteers especially were seen as more professional, and they just kind of slowly took over different positions bit by bit. And then the anarchists and was it the POOM?
The POOM, yes.
The POOM kind of saw, hey, what are you guys doing? You kind of look like you're setting up for another revolution after this is all done. And then bad things happen.
Yeah, so this is exactly why I brought in these two. Like, I have no clue about this. I'm just sitting enjoying, like, oh, that's nice. Oh, that's cool. And I was like, oh, wait, I should actually host the stream as well.
Yeah.
So, to move on a bit, we only have a certain limited of time.
We should probably start
The
playing.
third path that I was thinking we'll go through while we play a bit more.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
we're gonna hold off on a tiny bit, jump up to the top of the focus tree, pick the popular front, and begin this playthrough. But what's special now is that, well, Spain has a couple of new ones.
Yes, and this is actually a game in reverse. So usually you're used to playing, the first 3 to 4 years, you're used to playing very calm at speed 5 perhaps, and preparing for the inevitable war that is happening at some point. If you play Spain, it will be the opposite. You will be thrust into a civil war very early on, and everything is very hectic in the first 6 months. And after the civil war has ended, that might take you a couple of years, then suddenly you have some time to take a breather and to actually prepare while the rest of the world is already in a war.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We should also mention we're still actually tweaking this. It might sound silly
Hot
to say
code.
this every single time, but we're tweaking. We're trying to find a good balance. We have broken poor Dricke's heart many times. It's like I put some heavy penalties now. Like we want it on 2 months.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're really trying to get this to a good feeling. We don't want the same thing to happen again. We're really trying to make sure that it's going to be a long war. You're going to fight there,
Yeah.
you're going to suffer, and you're going to lose a lot, and then hopefully finish around late 39, early 40s.
If you push yourself, you might be able to make it in like a year or a year and a half, and that's fine. But you will not be able to finish this within a couple of weeks as you used to.
No more of that.
no.
Even if you get volunteers from like everyone, they will have the same penalties for you as you. And yeah, so it doesn't really matter. You might quicken it with a lot of volunteers. Hopefully, it should still be 2 years-ish. Car list, so
Yeah.
basically kings,
The car-
messing up everything.
The car lists have been active since the 19th century, and they are still active. They actually are resurging a little bit at this point in history, and so this is something that you will have to deal with, especially if you play as the nationalists, because if you go as the Republicans or you will not
Yeah.
really have a big issue with them anymore because they're not on your side. So hooray.
Exactly.
Um,
Otherwise,
Military disloyalty. So it wasn't known at this point that the military was slightly disloyal, shall we say, to put it mildly. So you will not be able to do anything with your army. You cannot disband them. You cannot edit their unit templates. You cannot train new units. What you have is what you got. You can't get rid of it. You can't cheese anything.
Well, you shouldn't be able to cheese
Yeah.
anything.
And
I'm still gonna have that like star there. We tried it, we tested it. You should not be able to do it,
Yeah.
but surely
Yeah.
someone is gonna break it anyway.
And the idea is, if the what this represents is that if you, as the government, are interfering too much with military matters, they will not be happy with that and probably rise up against you.
Yeah.
Political violence. The Spanish society at this point is balanced on a knife's edge. Tension is really high. There's lots of riots, lots of political assassinations, and so you cannot change any ministers or laws at this point.
No, you cannot create any new unit types. Nothing. You
Yeah.
can't change anything.
No.
And then, of course, to top it up, just to make everything even greater, natural strike, which is basically just a plain-out penalty to everything.
But this one actually changes depending on your actions during the pre-Civil War
They will see.
build-up.
They will
Yes.
see. So we're gonna do a very standard build anyway to begin with Spain. Just get some weapons, improve your units, get some research, and I think we're gonna go for the efficiency to begin with. Just to everywhere where we can squeeze out more equipment. We're gonna have very limited factories, so I want to squeeze out. as
You're
much
not going to be
equipment
able to
as possible.
prepare that much before the Civil War anyway.
No, but I can do some
Yes.
smaller things.
You will also
So-
see differences in the map. So the map has been adjusted.
Isn't this one thing you've done?
Yeah, that's one of the things that I've done. So this will be different from what you have on your game. And that was to give more granularity to the Civil War itself, to have more states to vie over control for.
We're gonna
So-
take it very slowly in the beginning, but don't you worry. We have one more time after this one next week. So we are going to continue. So I think it's time for our first little vote.
Yes,
So-
keeping with the democratic principles.
So either we go by stronger units,
But fewer.
or the weaker
But
and
more.
more. And well, as the player right now, I would say more units. All those in favor? 2 against 1.
Misplay.
No,
We're gonna lose us this damn thing.
no. We need more units because he has to cover, and
Yeah.
you're gonna see how I try to outmaneuver them with support.
Yeah.
Yes, and for that I need more units. I just need more
True.
units to throw into the
I mean,
fan.
the fluff reason is we need more units so that when half of them go home for the evening from the trenches, we have
Exactly.
another half to actually take the night shift in the
Yes,
trenches.
yeah. And the first couple of weeks, like the first day even of the Spanish Civil War, is so hectic. You need all the units you can get. As soon as it starts like that, you have to be on the ball and ready.
Yeah.
Oof,
And
pause.
there we go. Let's see.
Yes.
So 10% more communist support. Unlocks expand garrison control on map decisions, allowing to counter nationalist influence. States that do not have total Nationalist garrison control upon the start of the Civil War will begin conflict under Republican ownership.
Yes. So
Since
what
we're
will
going
happen now?
Republican-ish, we start with most under control, but
So if you now open, so you will see that you are in complete control over all of the garrisons in Spain. This will quickly change. The AI, or the simulated AI, as I like to call it, pseudo AI, simulates taking garrisons from you. They also get a focus, which gives them control over a lot of the historical areas that they had.
This one,
yes,
secure
exactly.
the Northern Garrison.
They get a lot of garrisons there. So what you need to do as a player is kind of decide which focuses do I want to take? How do I get there? How much do I need to delay the Civil War to get there? How many garrisons can I afford to contest with my limited political power? And how much political power do I need to sink into actually delaying the Civil War to get my goals?
Yeah. So we are already coming up to one of those occasions where they play differently than me, so I'm guessing I'm going to be overruled. But I would say we're not going to try to disband the army. All those in favor?
I'm going to try.
Motion denied. So we are going to try
Welcome
to
to
disband the army. So I usually, when I play Anarchist at least, like to, make both the sides very equal. So I'll take the Anarchist and beat them both. But apparently these guys want the
You want a
Republicans to win
challenge.
to make the Anarchist even harder for me. Thanks, guys. So
I think that's debatable.
So I
You
think
get a
the
lot
first-
of bonuses out of it.
Yeah, but
Historically, being anarchist in any civil war is playing on hard mode, so why should we make it an easy for ourselves? Everyone wants us dead.
Yeah.
I hear that I need to buff disbanding the army to get even stronger.
well, to begin with then, we need as much political power as possible. So I think we're going to begin with do some concessions to the left. That will
Yes.
increase our political power, increase our stability, but we're going to produce less from it. Producing stuff isn't really top priority in the Spanish Civil War, so we're going to do that. That's going to add 37 days to the mission plot, military plot. I've said like mission plot several times. I was like
blocks.
military plot,
Don't
military
worry
plot.
about
But
There
yeah,
was-
that's going to expand it. But at the same time, we have the opposition preparing, so they do their decision.
No, their focus.
Yeah,
That is
their
that is
focus.
their focus, so you can
Their
keep track of
decision.
what they have.
Yeah, their decision and influence on the map.
And you can see this on the map as well.
Yes.
So currently it is grayed out because you have full control, so you can't take that decision. As soon as they take control over that or increase their control over that, you will be able to take that and contest it. But it costs you political power, and the the more control you have, the more expensive it is to increase your control further. So if they take one level of control there, it will cost you like 30 political
Greater
power.
political power.
Then if they have half control, it takes you 20, and if they have full control, it only takes you 10 political power to contest them.
Exactly, but it only takes one step at a time. So if you want full control of the states, it's going to cost you 60 if you go from 0.
Yeah.
So we're gonna, just begin with doing it. We can't counteract anything on the map, so let's just do some concessions to the left.
Political
But-
power is incredibly important.
Yeah, exactly. But otherwise, another decision we could have done is reassign disloyal leader. We have secure leader lawyer, political arrest, imprison prima de reva.
If you check your army now, if you go to the
Right.
various generals, you will see that
Let's
there's
just not forget, we're just gonna do it.
Yeah,
Otherwise, I'm
let's
just
do
gonna
it.
forget about it. So let's just go into our army and check right now.
So you will see that there's just scroll down,
Yeah.
show them, because this is, I think, far more generals than any other minor has. However, as you see, they all have
gonna become-
sympathies. So half of them have nationalist sympathies. These are the generals that will side with the nationalist faction when the Civil War starts. Once the Civil War starts, they will each get their own loyalties on top of that, which is Carlist loyalties, Phalangist loyalties, communist loyalties, and Republican
Anti-Stalinist.
anti-Stalinist loyalties, Stalinist loyalties, and Republican
Loyalties to different
Yes.
places. So you're gonna have to pick your leaders if you want to be like very safe.
Yeah.
But you could of course use leaders with not the trait that's following you.
Yeah.
But with the risk that he will disappear later, and all
Yeah.
the experience he might have gained poof, gone.
So if you reassign them, then the other side will not be able to get any bonuses from that leader for a couple of months.
yeah.
So
Well-
someone had an interesting question. What happens if you do not take either of the two starting focuses before the elections happen? The event will pick for you. So you will be forced to pick a side in the election event. You can choose either of them, but you have to choose in that election event.
Let's see.
There's no way to avoid the civil war happening.
And just one more day, and there we go. So we can clearly see right now, Nationalists took one step to crawl. You can see it that there's a cross, check mark, and you can see it cost me 30 political power to
Just
now.
go ahead for a little bit until we get 30 political power. You can see the colors.
Oh, yeah, it
it's
lights
much
up
easier
much
to see.
better.
Yeah. We're playing on historical mode, right?
I hope so.
Yeah, so if we are, then the AI will be set to focus much more heavily on certain areas. So some of the areas that they will focus on is, for example, Sevilla, Extremadura, and Cordoba, because those are the areas that are that they historically started with when the Civil War kicked off. I mean, yes, they didn't have Sevilla as a city, but they took it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So if we start contesting those, they will counter us a lot. It's basically a lost battle.
But there is a decision to be made. Maybe you.
Oh, they're doing double right here.
Yeah,
right
you
now,
contest
so-
it a little bit so that instead of a large blob of nationalists rising up, there's
There will
little
be a
pockets
tiny bit
you
right
can
here
deal
there.
with. There's lots of decisions you can make in how you deal with the pre-game.
Exactly, and that is why I want more units. Because hopefully we're going to make, more smaller pockets than one large one, and then I can just take those extra units, throw in there, and hopefully clean them up without them uniting with the larger part on the front. So, in 3 days, we have concession left. I think we're going to do it just one more time to get that extra blue power, and then we're going to slowly but steadily start contesting them a bit here and there. Nothing word, no. Suppression, yes, cool.
Keep going with that
let's
one.
do it one more time.
I vote aye.
Let's see, so we're back again at 250 days.
Yeah. And their decision just finished, so they have managed to pull it down to 222 days now.
Yeah.
So the nationalists are trying to get the Civil War to start as soon as possible. And as the Republicans, the idea is that it should be advantageous to you to delay the Civil War as long as possible. Because if you hover over these focuses, you get more units. Next one, you get much more equipment at the start. Next one, you get even more units. Next one, you reduce their amount of units tremendously. So they get only 20% of the starting army, which are the best divisions, because all of the other Civil War divisions are kind of crap. They start less with fewer units of the Army of Africa, which is by far the strongest units. You will notice in the Civil War that when we lose somewhere a battle, that is probably because they have Army of Africa units there, because they are really strong.
Yeah, they're much better than anything else we will have.
You will get a lot of political power to spend on your country once the Civil War has started.
That is a beautiful part. I gotta admit that. That is a beautiful part.
Because you're locked into using all of your political power on this at the start. So,
like, now when we're rambling up everything right here, maybe last time I actually did that was when it didn't work properly.
Probably.
So I've been just underrating that one as a lot.
Yeah.
Disband the army in this case is the thing that the Spanish government failed to do in real life, which was realize what was coming and take.
Oh, they knew what was coming.
Well, they knew it was coming.
They were just paralyzed in indecision. They did not know how to handle it. They were
should've
hoping
just
it
had
was going to go away.
They should have had 3 people in the room saying, "Aye, done, finished." Come on.
What are they taking? They're taking
Come
the
on.
Army of
There
Africa
we go.
now, yeah.
Now we contested, and they go for right there. That's fine as well.
Oh, they go for Granada. Interesting.
That's a new one.
Yeah.
That, like, I have noticed they're going for either these 2 provinces, but they have sometimes going for Cataluna. So
Yeah.
weird.
They-
I'm
I mean, they're not
no,
prevented
that's my
from
place, so I'm just
Yeah.
constantly throwing them out right there.
They are not prevented from going for other places. They're just vastly more likely to go for their historical areas, especially on historical mode.
And I really like how the flag just lights up and like, hello, nationalists in control.
Yes.
So right now 72-33, so still looks pretty good for us since we got that 10 bonus.
But they haven't taken the northern garrisons yet, and that's when things
it's
really
really
start
a
going
switch around right
badly. Historical AI will go for the nationalists because that's what historical Spain did. I can guarantee that when you play historical mode, they will start with their historical borders, nothing more, and they will play as the nationalists, as Franco.
Those bastards.
What did they do?
They went against us right here. So we still don't have that 40% bonus.
Keep going for it.
But he's doing a speech right now.
If we wait for 3 days, we can cancel that, but I would say just keep going for concessions to the left. Yeah.
Okay.
So getting that PP is.
We can vote. Yes, we voted.
I kind of like to throw him away as soon as possible because he is getting quite annoying.
He costs you political power, and that's the one thing you do not want to lose at this point in the game. So you need to get rid of Primo de Rivera as soon as possible. Oh, no, there we go. We had one Primo de Rivera speech, but now they're trying to take one of our generals. So this is something that they can do. They will add a nationalist sympathies trait to one of our normally loyal generals, and they will join their side in the war. So if we want them back, we have to bribe them.
Sway him back.
Yes, but that costs a lot of political power.
Yeah, and
secure leader loyalty.
Definitely. And as soon as this one finishes, we are probably going to do a political arrest. And maybe we want to arrest him.
Arrest Primo de Rivera first.
And then we do the political arrest.
Unfortunately, we had to wait until he committed a crime to arrest him, but now he's done it. Let's just get it over with.
Exactly.
Get it over with. So they got one more step in Madrid. That's something I really don't want them to.
Madrid is the bastion for the Republicans, right?
Exactly. So I think I kind of want to save up to just.
If you play as the nationalists, Madrid is much more expensive to take control over, and even if you get full control over Madrid, the Republicans will still spawn a lot of units in there. So it is really, really hard to take control.
Yeah, it was a Republican foothold. So
yeah, exactly. They lost a number of offensives at the start of the war to try and get it.
Let's see. Everything is fine. Everything's fine. Yes. Oh god, they're influencing this one again. They really want total control right here. No, just sit back, Daniel. Relax. Let them do it. I really hate it because I want to contest them more. But
so
then you don't reach.
Perhaps I can talk a little bit about what this actually means, because there's 4 different levels of control for each state. You've got either the Republicans have total control, or the nationalists have total control, or the nationalists have weak control or strong control. Depending on that range, if you have total control as the Republicans, you get the state and you get 3 divisions spawn in there. If the nationalists have weak control, you get 2 divisions as the Republicans and 1 as the nationalists. If you have strong control as the nationalists, you get 2 divisions as the nationalists and 1 for the Republicans. And if you have complete control or total control, you get that is the only time where the nationalists get the state and also get 3 units. Yeah. The exception is the northern garrisons, which will invert, so they will always stay with the nationalists until the Republicans have total control over them. Yeah. This is to ensure you can't get rid of the entire nationalist faction by just contesting them. Yeah.
So they sway the leader right there, but we are now contracting with throwing that guy in jail as soon as possible. And we're also now poking, since I think we'll be fine with political power just as long as we keep this strike up at 40%. So we are starting to poke at them a tiny bit.
Yeah, we can poke occasionally. And we probably want to, unless we want to lose one of our generals. No, actually, we don't care because we're going to be anarchists. And
we don't need that many generals.
No, we get nuke generals when we become the anarchists.
Yeah. But as it's all right now, they just finished Northern Garrison.
Oof. And look at all
so many options. So many options big right there. So I'm thinking maybe we should harass them. I like that.
But if you harass them, you will not get control back over those states immediately, right? They will still stay there. You will just get one division that's like in the middle of nowhere and is going to get surrounded and dies.
Exactly. They spend some of their units to surround. Hopefully we're going to win with, oh god, now they're 61 against 49. But
this is how it goes.
Hopefully we're going to win in numbers, slightly at least. So just making them put 3-4 units there to guard that 1-2 unit uprising. I usually like to, they pull away temporarily just to make our secure our front line.
That is exactly how this system was designed to work. You are supposed to be able to cherry pick where you want to harass the enemy. Maybe you think that 1 or 2 units in the rear of their lines is going to be super useful if you want to outmaneuver them. So this is all up to you as a player, and that's how it was designed to be. And I hope that it works out well.
there are a lot of different play styles. I've done
Yes.
quite a few playtests. You can either choose to try and like break up the other side into smaller pockets, try and keep straight front lines, or do something crazy, turning into battle royale.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like Battle Royale. So now we're getting this slight issues where they have double control right here. They had a majority control right now in both of these areas, and that's something I really like to avoid. I want to keep the majority, at least majority right there. So I'm going to start when I can to contest both of these areas. I want them to be at 1 at most. So we might harass them a bit more, but since you're going for the third step right now here, we're going to take the third step right here. I think we're going to contest them right here. Just bring them down to S2. Since we have 40 nuclear power, it's going to be 10 more days-ish.
And you
before the
get
next one.
well, like 1.70
Exactly.
per
So
day.
we are
yeah.
going to be fine to pick the next decision.
It's important to keep our core territory, especially with all the industry.
I'm taking mental notes here. If he does too well, I'm gonna nerf this into the ground.
Yeah,
and
so that's
make it
the
harder.
issue of us streaming this ahead of time with the people actually doing it. So even if I have my special tactic stuff, you probably can't use them later. Because that.
So this
also-
is what they historically did. Like, for example, they put Franco in the Canarias,
Yeah.
where they thought he couldn't do any harm.
Don't we have an achievement like Miss Canaries 1936 or something?
I think so, probably, yeah.
We haven't gone out with achievements yet.
Oh shit!
I mean, if you check out the if you check out the
I didn't
focuses,
spoil stuff.
check out the
First
focus.
stream, I spoil.
Last stream you'll ever be on. Go to the left and go to Con Paquito and Sin Paquito. I think it's Sin Paquito.
Yeah.
And you click on that one and you check to the Canarias. If Miss Canary Islands 1936, which was his actual nickname, will not decide to join us, then we will simply proceed without him. This is literally the nickname that the rest of the plotting generals were using for Franco, because he was
my
just sitting
God.
there and not deciding on who to join, and they were getting pretty annoyed
Okay,
by
so
this.
everyone thinks about Franco when they think about the Spanish Civil War, but he really almost wasn't part of it at
At
all in
all,
any sort
exactly.
of key position.
He only decided to join them like a couple of weeks before the Civil War actually happened, when all of the planning had already been done. And it's only because he was flown over by British Secret Service agents from the Canarias to Northern Africa that he was even
Yeah.
able to do
Yeah.
anything.
What? Did you miss the timing?
Yes.
Are we screwed?
We might be. We might be.
Okay, well this is why we
Nelly.
brought the firing squad.
Yeah, exactly. Keep going. I mean, it's only
Like,
going to be a
we-
couple of days.
Yeah, exactly. We have like.
Might still make it.
I think we have 3 or 4 days.
Too greedy on challenging.
No, that was actually offensive mode, not challenging. We're attacking them at Galicia.
Yeah.
So hopefully that didn't screw us up, but it might have been. Then it's my fault. I guess that's what happened when you get deep down in politics.
Yeah, you have a tiny amount of spare
Like,
days.
it
but
looks decent right now. So we might
we're in
not be
September.
screwed.
I don't know. It's gonna be close.
Yeah, it's gonna be super close. So they're gonna take the third step right there,
So-
which I don't want to. So I might just counteract them right there. But
So
it's 11 days
regardless of if you take the focus to disband the army, you will disband the army. The only difference is that if you take the focus, you are proactively disbanding them before they can react. And if you don't do it, then the government will still disband them, but they will disband them as a reactive measure. And all of the army will already have joined the nationalists. So you will just lose your part. You won't gain anything out of it.
So let's see. They are only doing suppressive strikes right now. Very good. Let's see. There we go. Concessions left. I don't know if it's useful anymore. They did push us down. Actually, they're going to push us down 2 steps right now. So we're going to be back at pretty much 1. Or should we just reassign even more?
I would go for concessions to the left
Yeah.
still. Political power is so important.
Yeah, but we don't have so many more days left. That was why I was thinking maybe it's fine if we don't go there. But yeah, we'll see.
Already you can see this is so different than your usual Hoi 4 start. Where you
Yeah, it's been
do
like 40 minutes.
do your construction techs and then wait. You've already made a bunch of decisions and it's...
It's the game on its head, really. It's like it's front loaded with everything that happens.
So in constant MPs now, it's gonna be no, wait, slow down. I have decisions.
If you have Spain in your multiplayer, you are going to have to take that into account, because they're probably not going to do well if they play at 5 speed at the start, and that's just how it's going to be.
I don't like this. I don't like this. Oh, come on.
But this
Say I
also
didn't screw
means
up.
that the Civil War is going to take a lot longer now. So there will be a lot more to do for other countries. Like if you play Germany or Italy or the Soviet Union or even France, you will have a lot more time to actually have a proxy war in Spain because it won't be over in two weeks.
And you won't be able to end it in 2 weeks with your 3 panzer divisions.
Yeah.
Exactly.
God, that was... Those times were so annoying.
Mhm.
3 tanks just beating the
I
entire
mean,
Civil
there,
War in
there
2
were a
days.
lot of countries that had like, intervene in
go.
the Civil War, and it was a 70-day
We're still
focus,
screwed.
and they never had time. Oh.
Well, it wouldn't be the Civil War without mistakes.
I mean, this is historical. They weren't historically able
So
to do
we have
this.
91 days.
Yeah.
They're pushing it down by 25.
You're gonna
So
get
that'll
it
be
up
fine.
again.
I think we're just in time.
Just started, man.
I think that one day might be the one that we actually need.
Just keep going.
Or
We'll see
we're
it.
behind 4 days.
We're gonna see
Those 4 days
Don't worry
are
about it.
super, super important.
what happens to foreign
the
divisions.
Political
They will
assassination,
be. It depends on which side the country goes to. If nationalist Spain goes Carlist, then
So
you will get
66
your
days.
volunteers back.
I think we're fine. Minus
I think so.
25 right there.
You have to take another one.
Yeah.
Go for reassign. No,
think
political
just
arrest. That's the
political
best one.
arrest,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
Should be fine.
Okay.
Maybe
That's
we can.
the last one. That's going to reduce by 25. We're still fine. And good. Now I can challenge
Yes.
Madrid and just
Yeah.
get that back into my control. So I really don't like they just went straight for Galicia. We're not going to have that spare
They don't make
sneaky
it
troop
easy.
in the
They
top.
do not make it easy.
Actually, we might still be able to go for it.
Is it worth
Okay.
it? Keep it
I
I would
would
say
like.
try-
Since we're
get
fine
the-
with blue power,
get the west of the country.
we have that. We have that. We could take a second one.
I would
right
say
here.
that to cut off Seville. Seville. Do it. Vote. All in favor of taking Seville.
Damn it! Cowards!
Democracy strikes again.
Democracy, anarchist.
Anarchism.
Bloody
Dar-
cowards.
Anarchism is just direct democracy. That's what anarchism
Bloody
is.
coward. Let's see. We will still have time for one more decision. I think 9 days, 13 days. God, it's really like
Ooh.
it's really there.
It's fantastic. Just
How many more days do we need for the?
Oh,
no!
it's
It
on.
happened.
it's on, and here you get to make the
Pick
big
the right
choice.
option now.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
bottom one. So now
this is Spain.
this is how it looks like.
I like it.
Border galore.
Like this is super powerful, and we might have screwed up the nationalist.
Too much.
Yeah,
I don't know.
This is
That-
gonna
that-
be.
but that
This is
just-
gonna be hard for the anarchists. This is gonna be bloody hard.
Yeah,
The
but-
only thing we can thank for is that the Republicans are gonna be attacked from 2 directions,
Yes.
while the anarchists are. So we're gonna play it quite safe, I think.
Yep.
We don't have to waste lives. Okay.
Check out the focus tree. So if you now look, hang on.
Let's
you
just
see
take the right option first.
Bottom one.
No, wait. Check out. Wait, no, too late. Yeah. So if you look at the amount of divisions that we have, you can see that we only barely managed to beat them. We only have 5 divisions more than they do. So this is a far cry from the 20 to 70 ratio that we
Yeah.
had at the start. Now check out the focus tree. And as you see, you will have those 3 big
Oh right,
selector
one thing we can
focuses.
show is
Oh yeah, you don't have the other focus tree anymore.
It's gone.
Because this is your focus tree. It's 2 separate ones. So you get the 3.
I can't hide it properly. Let's zoom
You
up a
have
bit more.
the Regional Defense Council of Aragon. You have the Communist one and the Democratic one, and those are automatically completed for you by selecting one of these options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So read them carefully so you pick the right one.
So first of all, since this is something you just have learned, always when there are important decisions and you want to hover them to see what effects and stuff, hold the mouse at the very bottom, not close to any
I
of
don't
them.
have the. No one else.
You
has
don't
this
want to
Yeah.
accidentally click that.
Exactly. So, after filing this, we're gonna just, Spain completes focus, maintain the Second Republic.
Yeah,
No,
so this
wrong.
is
So we
Democratics.
switch down. Completes the anti-fascist workers' revolution. Wrong. So we go all the way down, which through communal revolution struggle we will win.
That is the anarchist path.
All those in
Together.
favor? First time anarchists doing anything.
So the anarchists don't care about stability. And
Who needs stability when you have anarchists?
yeah, exactly, because it's not a state. So you're gonna end up not getting a lot of stability, and your stability is gonna go down a drain even faster later on. And you will get a unique, flavorful law.
Yeah, I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. But one important thing we can address right now, at least so we have some kind of answer. Why are the anarchists not aligned?
Because when I talked to basically any anarchist at the office, they were
There are
extremely
dozens of us. Dozens.
yes. Well, there's more than one. Let's put it like that. They were all very offended if you insinuated that they are communists.
The OG disagreement in the International was between the communists and the anarchists, and that's never gone away.
Yeah.
And I
So-
once again repeat, that's why I brought.
So I feel, so when I made that decision, I felt that communism really referred much more to the Stalinist and Trotskyist branches of communism. And non-aligned has kind of historically been a sort of catch-all miscellaneous category of various ideologies. We have monarchism, we have unaligned dictatorships that don't necessarily identify with fascism. And I felt that that this might fit in there. So that's why I did that.
So here we also have a decision. Either we build a bit more or we arm the people. I would guess arming the people would be the best one.
I think we need to arm the people.
Yes, like I said, the first few weeks of the Spanish Civil War are the key to setting up everything.
So, right now you might look, well, this looks very similar. We're probably going to finish it within a couple of weeks. Shouldn't be very much of an issue.
Nope.
That's because we haven't unpaused yet. So I'm going to do some small actions, then we're going to, well,
You have a
5
land
minutes
grab
to go left.
phase of 7 days, I think it is, and in which you can have free movement normally. And as soon as that is over,
oh, that I don't like.
That's
oh yeah, that's nasty.
Wow, really? They're getting
you
enforced
only need
right
2
here?
divisions.
Okay.
Keep-
So
Okay, let's
after
do it.
7 days, you end up with what historically happened in the Civil War, which is a bunch of people sitting on hilltops looking angrily at each other and not really doing anything. This was the case in a lot of areas in the Spanish front line. And it just took so long for them to get supplies to the front and prepare these big pushes that they did, which is why it took so long for the Civil War to end. I mean, historically, it took about, what is it, almost 4
Yeah,
years?
it took a long time. Spain is
Almost
not
3 years, I
Spain
think,
is
yeah.
not a good place to have a war. It's not a good place to have a civil war, and it's not a good place to have a civil war when your industrial base is split 50-50.
Yes.
So people are going to the front line. I'm going to force everyone to get there as quickly as possible, except a certain couple of units which I have
Maybe
on
pin down
individual
some guys
order.
on the right.
Except pin. No, I just really want to grab that. Because I don't want to do it optimally right now. Because if I do it optimally, then we have the risk of actually not
And I think
winning.
we're out of time.
Exactly. Which I'm coming
Oh
to
yeah, we
soon.
only have a couple
Here we
more
go.
minutes.
So pretty much everything is now
But
set
hey,
up.
at least the Soviets are sending volunteers.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, we're still the Republicans at this point.
We could trust Papa Stalin, right?
Yeah.
So come on, just everyone get in there, and I just want one thing to happen. There we go.
So, that is one hell of a penalty.
Yeah.
And that is the artificial way in which we are delaying the Civil War here, because otherwise there's no way of making sure that this lasts as long as it did
And
historically.
it is harsh.